am very happy to welcome Chanda here today, who is a virtual assistant that is very kindly taking time out of her day to tell us a little bit about her journey as a virtual assistant, how you started out, how you got your first clients, what your business looks like now, and kind of all the nitty-gritty details, if you don't mind sharing, because we're all in this room, we're all learning, and we want to learn from those who have reached a level of success that we're kind of all aspiring to. So Chanda, tell us a little bit about what virtual assistants you provide at the moment and how you got started.
I'd love to. And hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. This is kind of a full circle moment for me because I actually took a major pivot in my entrepreneurial journey 8 months ago and transitioned into offering virtual assistant services. So I feel like the last 8 months have been a whirlwind. And so to be on a platform today and get to share that journey is a blessing. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. So my journey actually began because I have been a one-on-one consultant coaching solo female entrepreneurs in overall strategy, mostly on the marketing side, social media. I was known as a bit of a tough love coach. So kind of known in the industry as like a personal trainer meets a coach. And I found myself at a place where, like most people on here today can relate, I couldn't figure out how to scale the one-on-one coaching. There's only so many of me. I'm a mom of 3. And my husband has a demanding job as well. And I just felt stuck. And I just had this notion to start asking my current clients, what could I do to make your dreams come true? And one by one, my one-on-one coaching clients opened up to me and started to say, Chanda, we love the coaching. We love the homework. We can't implement everything you're telling us to do. Could you just do it for us? And the rest is really history. And so my first clients actually were my one-on-one coaching clients. And we just baby stepped the process. And I would say, okay, let me take over that email for you this week and let's see how it goes. And that has blown up into a full service virtual assistant agency. I have team members now, and we are currently managing 12 clients and averaging two to three discovery chats a week. And it is all because I just knew there was something more that I could offer through my gifts and my talents, that I wasn't sure what that looked like. And I'm just so thankful I asked that question. Like, what could I do to make your dreams come true? And I would encourage everybody in this journey, ask that question. Ask that question to maybe business associates you have in your circle of friends. Or maybe there are some people watching today who coach in some capacity, or maybe they consult. Ask that question and see what happens.
So yours is a very interesting story because I feel like you've done it the other way around, where you started coaching and consulting first, and then you moved into VA services. Whereas for a lot of VAs, they kind of do the VA stuff for a little while, and then they realize what skills and talent they have, that they go into the coaching and the consulting. So you've kind of done it the other way around.
Right.
And
Yeah. And it's been, I tell this story, I will never forget 8 months ago, slamming my laptop after watching hours of YouTube videos, trying to find this model out there because I needed someone else to tell me how this works. What is the roadmap to having a hybrid model like this? And I couldn't find it. And then one of my friends said to me, she said, well, maybe you are modeling the way.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe you are creating the model. Just keep taking steps forward, Chanda. And that's just been my motto. Keep showing up, keep taking steps, even though I don't know if they are the right steps.
Trial and error. You won't know until you try it, right?
Yes.
But I I love that you're paving the way. So to understand a little bit clearer, so you still offer consulting and coaching.
Yeah, so that's what makes us a little different is because my whole philosophy and what I've noticed coaching women for almost 10 years in business, just because they have a list of tasks that they need handled for them, it doesn't mean it's the right list of tasks to move their business forward. And without the coaching and consulting to marry with the VA services, I didn't feel like I was servicing my book of clients to our best potential and working together. So we love it. The coaching part of it, we absolutely love. And I feel like it has made our clients' experience more successful because we're not about suggesting more services, right? More tasks. It's how can we help women spend more time with those people in their lives that matter most?
And still make money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just quickly, Marcia asks, can you please repeat the question again? Can you use your words?
Yes, Marcia. So 8 months ago, I decided to ask my one-on-one coaching clients, what could I do to make their dreams come true? And I wanted honest answers. And I would definitely encourage all of you to ask current clients that question or people that are in your business space in some way to help you understand what people need from you.
And how do you know, like you can't do everything, right? So if they're asking for the world, how do you know what things to offer and what things to not?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to the client's goals. And it is something I've struggled with because I know selling packages is a very popular way to go with your business model. It's not something that worked for me. I actually crashed and burned with that model. We can talk about how we service or package our services, but they are packages in a minute. We customize our experience based on what our customers need because our niche, we understand our niche more than they understand themselves sometimes. So we know what they need a lot of times before they even know what their needs are. But again, it's customized to what their goals are because one solo female entrepreneur that comes on board with us is going to have a different path than the next. And so for us, we've been able to customize the experience around that. Does that make sense?
I love that. And so can I ask what your niche is? What kinds of clients you work with?
So we work with female solopreneurs that are primarily in the network marketing or direct sales space who have a large footprint in the organization. So those who are upper level leaders for the most part. But most recently, we've started to actually attract small businesses that are outside of network marketing and direct sales. And that's something I'm really, really excited about. We're dipping our toes into web design for small businesses. So even though we have a niche, I would encourage everybody out there to not be afraid to actually step out of your niche a little bit if you have gifts and talents that can serve them.
How do you know? Because that's funny because that's kind of goes against a lot of the information that we're kind of told and given that, the riches are in the niches. How do you know when it's time to step out? And how do you know when it's time to kind of go all in on a niche? Like, how can you tell which is the right path for you?
If people start responding to the value you're putting out in your marketing. So your niche will absolutely get you started, right? We'll give you that traction to bring a few clients on and just kind of get your feet underneath you a little bit. That's part of the battle, right? Is just get started. And it's not going to be perfect. My first clients would probably tell you we were a hot mess, but they're renewing and they're still on board, right? And so, yes, I am fully on board with the riches are in your niches, but knowing when to step out basically is who is showing up in your discovery chat requests.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to me to sit back and watch. I can say over the last 45 business days, we're starting to attract more small businesses. And so we are going to serve them. I'm not going to turn them away because they're not in my niche. There's something we are putting out there value-wise in our marketing that is attracting small business owners. So yeah, don't be afraid to step out of your niche. I don't think you'll know when the perfect time is because there's never any perfect timing in what we do. But I would just pay attention to who's responding to you.
And that brings me to the question about your marketing. So how do you market yourself?
So again, going against the grain a little bit, I feel like I'm a rule breaker now.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah. Break those rules.
Chatting about it. I only market on Instagram. As far as social media goes, I do not have a Facebook presence. I'm primarily Instagram focused, but I network on Instagram daily behind the scenes. In addition to just the content that you see on my feed or my stories. I've just jumped into LinkedIn a little bit, but I'm also highly active in my local community. So I am very active in local community Facebook groups with my local Chamber of Commerce. I offer free coaching. And so my marketing is pretty simple at the end of the day.
I love that. I love that you're saying that you're active in your local community. I think when people think virtual assistant, they think, the world is my marketplace. And yes, to an extent that is true, but so few of us fail to look at our doorstep and see how much potential there is at the businesses immediately surrounding us. So I love that.
Yeah. And it's also a reminder too, there are a lot of people that do not know what a virtual assistant is, what we can do for them. And starting locally, I have found is a really great starting point to build that awareness. So please don't assume that everybody gets it. They don't. Still a relatively new industry.
Yeah. I feel like if you can go up to them and say something like, how can I make your dreams come true? And then you can tell them all the ways that you can. It's kind of mind blowing for somebody who's never heard of virtual assistants that all of this can be done by someone who's not in my office, who's thousands of miles away and who only charges per hour potentially. Like, sign me up.
Right. And
yeah.
And I just posted on Instagram about this the other day. When you are communicating the benefits of a virtual assistant, small business owners in particular understand opportunity cost. And there isn't a small business owner on the planet right now who doesn't need what you have to offer their business, and communicating what the opportunity cost is if they do not invest in a virtual assistant is pretty high these days.
Yes. Such a good point. So your clients, you say you have 12 clients. Can I ask, how did you get them all?
Yeah. So I would say 30% were old coaching clients who just morphed into this new model with me, right? And so a few of them have referred new clients on their own. I don't have a referral program at all. They just have done that. And by the way, and that was an early signal to me that we were doing something right. If somebody if a client is willing to shout from the rooftops that they're having a positive experience and they think their colleagues should hop on board, that was a signal. I'm like, okay, I think we're on the right track with this unicorn of a model here. And then the other clients have come from my marketing.
Amazing. So like Instagram mostly, or like in person?
I would say 50-50.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Marsha and everybody else watching, if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. But I have a few more questions myself because I know we have to wrap up shortly. So it sounds like you're building a fantastic thing. You're blazing a trail. This hybrid model is really working for you. One of the questions I like to ask my interviewees is, what do you think has contributed the most to your success right now?
My faith.
Mm.
My faith. If anything, I have been on the biggest spiritual journey of my life in the last 8 months. I start my day with an hour of personal development time that is digging deeper into my toolbox of faith, which I have to have in order to do this and carry the weight of a business like this on my shoulders confidently. And that is my number one success driving force for sure.
And I'm sure there's been times along your journey where you've doubted yourself and you felt like maybe this won't work. And I mean, how did you overcome those times?
100%. I have quit in my head every other day, right? I mean, literally every other day. So that's my message to everybody. If you're not thinking of quitting, there might be something wrong, actually. Like thinking about quitting, let's normalize it, okay? Because that means you're growing. I've learned that I am comfortable now in the uncomfortable. There is nothing comfortable about scaling a business this quickly at all. But again, my faith is at the foundation, and I know that I'm either succeeding or I'm winning. Failure in there, it's your mindset. I'm not failing at anything, I'm learning. So as challenges and road bumps, come at me, and when you scale, they come at you like darts, rapid fire. That might have been a failure or a mistake, but it's not, because I've learned. So therefore, we're not failing.
I love that. You've talked about scaling a little bit, and I don't think we've actually addressed how much you've scaled and in what time frame. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, it's tax season. We're getting ready to be tax season. So I'm talking with my CPA a lot, right? And so literally this morning, this is timely, I looked at my own spreadsheet, right, of tracking, gross income and my net. And I bawled. Like, I'm going to cry.
Wow.
Because literally, I'm telling you, like, literally by this time last year, I netted $500 in my business. And now I'm to the point where I'm running payroll for team members. Like, it's crazy to me. So I hope that helps paint the picture of scaling and scaling quickly, going from a place of, a couple $100 in revenue to, knocking on the door here of 6 figures. I still can't get my head around it.
That's amazing. And all of this in the space of 12 months, like, wow. And I love that you highlighted personal development and focusing on yourself, on your faith. And like, it's like that mindset where you just keep moving forward, that growth mindset. Failure isn't failure, it's learning. I love that. Marsha, really quickly, you had a question. She says, really brave to adopt a business model and marketing strategy, which isn't necessarily the norm. Did you have a business coach yourself?
Gosh, that's a great question. And thank you. There's been brave days and not so brave days. So I have a business coach who doesn't know he's my coach. But I call him my coach, and he actually does have a program that I'm begging to get into. And it's Darius Daniels. And you guys can go follow him on Instagram. He is a pastor. And I rarely start my day without having him feed positivity into me. And that's where I get my nourishment to run this thing. So in terms of courage, in order to step out in ways I've never done before, it does take, I think, a coach in some capacity. And whether that's a quote unquote business coach for you ladies out there, or it's a mentor, or it's someone in the faith space, have somebody.
Mm-hmm. I could not agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
There's a few questions that I ask all of my interviewees before we end our conversation. Everyone else, I will get to your comments really quickly, but I do want to get to these questions. So knowing what you know now, Chanda, is there anything that you would have done differently at the start of your business?
Gosh, yes. I would have hired a team member way sooner.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I think everybody's probably going to relate to this. If there's a control freak, I'm like up here on the control freak scale. Okay. So hiring a team member, I was physically sick. I mean, my husband was like, "You are so ridiculous, Chanda. You need this, hire somebody." And I was like, "I can't do it. I can't do it. This is such a big step." Best thing I've ever done for my business and myself, by the way. But it was interesting because I know I went through that fear of it, because that's what clients feel hiring a VA for the first time.
Yeah.
Same. And so it gave me a perspective of how to empathize with them when we're in the early process, right, of seeing if we're a good fit for a client. But I wish I would have done it sooner. And I wish I actually would have gotten systems into place sooner before I had the client load that I felt deserved it.
Everyone says that. Every virtual assistant I've talked to have said that.
I didn't
get your back end in order.
Yeah, but I did it in my mind. I thought I needed to be a 6-figure earner to have Dubsado in place, to have a CPA handling my books, right? To have team members. And those are all lies.
Yeah, agreed. Julie asks, are your team members 1099 contractors or W-2 employees?
They're 1099s, but I am actually getting ready to explore the W-2 in the new year with my CPA. We're running at a rate where I have the need for a full-time employee pretty soon.
Exciting. I think. That's so exciting.
And but again, I don't know. I'm clueless. I don't know what that looks like, but we're going to use the resources that I have in front of me, which is a CPA, and we're going to see. Yeah.
Amazing. And what was your first hire? Did they do something specific for you? Or was it like a general VA who kind of did what you did, but yeah.
Former client.
Oh, okay.
Former client.
Did she do like a specific task, or was she just kind of like helping you out with like a little bit of everything?
She helped with specific tasks so that I could train her and we could duplicate that with other clients. But I started with a current client or a former client because I knew her values, which are important to me. I knew she understood the needs of our customer base because she was one. And so, yeah, that's where I decided to start with team members, is just start with someone I already had trust with. Because again, control freak. So I had to kind of operate within my comfort zone of that. Yeah.
I get that completely. Okay. So what advice do you have for those of us who are just starting out?
So just starting out is you do not have to be an expert in everything. They just want someone to lock arms with them and come alongside their business journey. And if there is any way you can identify that you can do that for someone, that's a client. Okay. I just want you to start with someone, and maybe you do it for free. Because by the way, when I started coaching and consulting, that's how I started. I reached out to someone I knew and I said, would you allow me to coach you one-on-one for a few weeks? And let's see what results we get. And then I'd like to share that with my audience. So if you're brand new, maybe that's where you start. But the key is you just have to get started. And there's so much potential out there for business owners who need you.
Absolutely. Julie says, I love this mindset. I am such a perfectionist, so I need to just get out of my own way many times. Any action is better than no action.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes. Julie. And any progress is better than no progress. Slow progress is better than no progress. So I think a lot of us get frustrated that it's taking so long to replace our income, reach 6 figures. But as long as you're moving forward, you're on the right path. You're doing the right things. Yep. So Chanda, before we let you go, where can we come and learn more from you? How do we stalk you? Where do we find you on Instagram? Tell us all.
Yeah, so I would love to connect with everybody over on Instagram. I actually coach. I'm a coach at heart. And so I do coach a lot through my content, and I coach a lot through my stories. So you can find me at Chanda the VA. So it's CHANDA, the VA. And my website is thehouseofvirtualassistants.com. And you'll notice, again, I don't really have packages on there so much, but we have figured out a more customized approach to offering our services.
I love that. And for anyone watching who's in the inner circle, we'll have Chanda's conversation recorded and we'll put it in the inner circle so you can watch it again later. But I'll also share with you her Instagram handles and her website details so you can go and learn from Chanda, go and stalk her and be just like that, just like her, because you're so inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chanda. I know you've got a photography shoot happening right now.
I need new business photos badly. So it's been a long time. So yes. Thank you for this blessed opportunity. I really appreciate it. And best to everybody watching.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. We'll speak to you soon, Chanda. Bye.